Today I'm going to show you how to make a bird out of wire. Now I'm using copper wire for this, but you can use whatever you have. I've made different sculptures out of regular baling wire, armature wire that's aluminum, copper wire, different gauges, whatever you can find or purchase from the store, whatever you want to do. I like found materials because it's free, but yeah, you can use whatever you want. So we're going to start out with some pretty heavy gauge copper wire that I got from some leftover conduit when I was running new electrical to my house. So we're going to start out by printing out the picture to scale, print it out as big as you want your end product to be, and then just trace the outline of the bird or whatever animal you're trying to make with the wire, and that'll give us a nice solid skeleton or structure to work around as a start. So I started this one with the end of the wire on the beak, and then I decided I wanted to go the other way around, and I wanted to loop around the beak and end at the tail. So I flipped it around, kind of used my pliers to get those tight turns, but generally, even though it's really thick wire, you can manipulate this wire pretty easily with your hands. Don't need a whole lot of tools. It's pretty soft. So you get that outline all set, and as you're bending, you might tweak out of place the piece that you've already done, so continually check the entire outline, and then once you get that done, then we can start making it three-dimensional. So I'm going to start with the legs, and I'm going to do that by cutting a length of wire and then tying it on to the back of the bird where kind of the legs line up, and twisting that into a knot so it doesn't move around, just like that. And then I'm going to use my pliers to make that nice and tight so it doesn't move around. Then we can use that wire to form the body, kind of make it three-dimensional. So form that down, make that nice and tight, and then we're going to do another knot at the bottom, and then with the little ends we can form the legs. Just bend those around and shape them however you want. Now this stage of the sculpture is where you start positioning and really having fun with making your bird come alive with some personality. So for mine, I'm going to have my bird kind of crouching down and twisting to the left a little bit, kind of looking over his shoulder. Now we're going to move on to some thinner wire to start wrapping it. It's still decently thick and it'll hold its shape as you go. So I'm just going to wrap those around and start forming the feet. So we're going to tie a knot right at the junction there because I want that spot to be nice and strong. And then I'm coming down to the end of the feet, pulling out a length of wire for the toe, and then I'm just looping it back on itself and twisting it up to make it solid. And then you just do that 4 times because he has 3 front toes and then 1 little back thumb thing. So just pull it out, loop it back, give it a twist, and you make a little foot. You can do this part of the sculpture with steel wire because steel wire is a lot more stiff, and we're going to use these feet to mount the bird at the end onto whatever you're going to put it on, a stick or a piece of wood or a bar, whatever, your finger. And having stiffer wire helps to hold that in place and helps the bird stand up a lot easier. But this works well too. It works okay. It's not the most solid thing in the world, but you'll see that it stands up on its own because we have that super thick wire as kind of the bones and then the little feet, right? So then we're going to move on to forming the tail. I have the skeletal structure going out, and we're just going to layer and add on loops of wire and form the tail. So I have these little feathers, and we're just tying them into the body as we go, lacing them back and forth, putting them in kind of all over. And then I kind of skipped over this, but we just wrap randomly over the rest of the body to give it some more structure. And then we're going to switch to even thinner wire to bulk this guy out and make him more solid. See, here's the 3 different gauges of wire that I'm using, and you see how much thinner that last one is. basically hair. That's the same wire that I built the tree out of. Check that out in the card up top. So we're going to just tie that on, give it a nice twist, and start wrapping. Now you can do this however you want. I'm kind of just doing it randomly and all over, not following a particular pattern. Once it's all wrapped, I'm going to give it a quick spray paint just as a primer, and then we'll paint this sucker to make it a little bit more realistic.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Ciao, ciao.